Isn't that fantastic? You know, it is a different time for customer service because our expectations are that our vendors are using the same technology that we are. And that level of technology, whether it's video technology or social network technology or mobile technology, is something that they have the same level of acuity with that we do. Well, we've talked about this whole concept of your employee social network, automating all the systems inside your company. And the key piece of that is for many of you, you are in unique industries. You have unique workflow. You have unique business problems. And as you know, Salesforce.com does not make an app. We make platforms. We're a platform company. Everything that you've seen is fungible. You can easily rip it apart and put it back together. It was designed that way from the beginning, that all aspects of our system are based on our platform. And the ability for you then to take that platform and create whatever app you want, whether you're an ISV or whether you're an end user, that makes the game happen. Because we recognize for our 100,000 customers, not one implementation is exactly the same. In fact, they're all different. They've all created metadata. They've all created the changes. They've all created that business process that's unique to them. And we have built a system that accepts that. And yes, you can manifest it as a sales app. Yes, you can manifest it as a service app. But if you're a company called Facebook, who has just taken 12 apps, you can manifest it as an HR app. You can manifest it as a finance app. You can manifest it as an infrastructure app. And at Dreamforce, Tim Campos, who was the CIO of Facebook, and you can see this on YouTube, did a detailed review of how they're building apps using Force.com and using our platform to run their company. And those apps that they've done in Force.com are in blue. Other cloud apps they've done are in green. And they even have some traditional enterprise software, which is in gray. But it's really the minority of how they run Facebook's back office. It's an amazing example of how to build a modern company that can scale very, very, very rapidly because they're on the cloud. So as they grow, they instantly have more capability. You know, we see that. We see that with Groupon. We see that with Kelly. We see that with BMC. With the companies that are building on Force.com, we see that agile capability. 220,000 apps on Force.com. And when you get into the trade show, you're going to see ISVs, software companies, who have chosen our platform as their native platform. And more and more and more of that happening. Every day, we see more and more apps getting created on our platform because we have declarative capabilities, workflow, logic, the analytics, chatter, the APIs, the mobility. All of that is inside the platform already. So for you, if you want to build a social app or you want to build a mobile app, it's already there. And that is very exciting. Or if you want to choose an app, all you have to do is go to our App Exchange, and you're going to find 130,000 apps right there available for you. All kinds of apps to run your company with one click, pre-integrated. I want to show you a great company that's done an amazing thing. You saw their CEO, Carl, earlier on video. I want to go a little bit deeper now, not just how they're using Chatter, but Kelly Services is the largest professional services organization of its type in the world. I want you to hear how they have taken building applications to a new level. And if you were at Dreamforce, you saw Joe Druin on stage. But let's just take a look at what Kelly is doing inside their organization.
The Force.com platform has been game-changing for us. We've had customers come to us with a water cooler conversation or the what if kind of idea, just kind of speculating on wouldn't it be cool if ... The platform gives us the power to not just be able to realize a solution, but realize it in a matter of days and weeks. We've been able to really surprise some of our customers that have brought those what if kind of blue sky ideas to us in ways that they simply couldn't have even imagined a year or two ago.
Yeah, and I think that that's really the point. And when I meet with Joe or when I meet with their team, their requirements and their needs are just happening very, very, very fast. And we've had a breakthrough in what that means, that it's more than just automating and extending. It's really this idea that we have to start building these social networks right into our products, that we need product social networks, that we need customer social networks. It's not just about our employees and the employee social network. Yes, that's a key part of it. It's not just about the customer social profile. That's a key part of it. It's not just about the custom applications. That's also a key part of it. But it's building these customer social networks. And these customer social networks, this idea that we are doing things to uniquely integrate the customer into the experience, this is the power of the action. There's no better example of it than Disney. Go to facebook.com/Disneyland. And if you go to facebook.com/Disneyland, you see all these apps that are built on our platform that Disney has done that have this kind of post-Disneyland experience for their customers. Games and vacation communities and photo sharing. And they want to have this kind of interactive intimacy with their customers post-park experience to maintain the relationship with the customer. It's one of the main reasons that we acquired a next-generation platform called Heroku. It was Heroku that allowed them to build this very fast. And we've seen it with Disney, we've seen it with Warner Brothers, we've seen it with over 100,000 companies who have built apps on Heroku because they use a new technology called Ruby on Rails that lets them rapidly build these next-generation interactive applications. In fact, there's 180,000 apps now on Heroku. And Heroku is now multi-language. So if you're a Java programmer, you can build in Heroku. It has the erosion resistance and add-on catalogs and JIT deployment models that developers are really comfortable with today. But with Heroku for Java, now we have a path to the social enterprise for 6 million Java developers also. Pretty awesome. And we've taken that Heroku platform and our Force.com platform, like you saw with Kelly, and we're starting to look at new ways to listen and analyze what's going on the network. We want to pay attention to what's going on Facebook, what's going on Twitter, what's going on that community site. And you heard Michael Dell tap into that. But it's impossible just through words to explain what Dell has done. To really do it, I had to go to Austin, Texas. I had to go and see that they had built a network operations center. It looked like they were launching a rocket. They had teams of people inside all looking at everything going on. It all started with a blogger named Jeff Jarvis. And many of you may have heard this story. He said he started to tweet, I'm in Dell hell. And it turned out Michael did not like that very much. And then it went viral. And they were not able to track it and know what's going on, what's happening, how is this going, what's happening here, what's going on there. And they're like, we're going to solve this. And they solved it by creating this NOC, tracking 25,000 conversations a day, learning more about their customers and their products and their brand than ever before. I want to show you the video of what I saw when I actually went to Austin, Texas to see this incredible command center. Let's take a quick look.
It's a really, really proud day for us here at Dell. As you know, we are all about customers and we are all about listening. And what you'll see today is the unveiling of a major milestone in the power for us to listen to customers.
One of the founding principles of Dell is really about listening and learning from our customers and being able to take that feedback and improve. And so you can imagine why I'm so excited to see all this come together, and really want to thank you all for the great work. So I'm going to hit the button here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So.
What I love about Dell's Social Media Listening Command Center is that, to me, it's a reflection of this bigger thing that Dell is doing. It's not just a superficial show that, social media is cool and we're listening, but it really is a reflection of this deeper kind of cultural investment in listening.
Instead of Googling, now I use Twitter. And I'll ask on Twitter, and Dell responds to me.
So this is a really, really important step, I think, to not only implementing all the necessary changes internally at Dell, but also to really being very proactive or reactively, quickly getting back to customers.
Every function you can imagine inside the company is going to use social media and community tools and today is the day that we emancipate the tools into the company.
Isn't that a great example of what you can do with a social network? And if you go to YouTube again and you type Gatorade social network, you'll see one that Gatorade has built, and you'll start to see others. And the cool thing about this, in the KLM video, by the way, and the Dell video, we didn't do them. They're done by the customers to show off what they are doing with our technology. That's amazing. But they've got a difficult problem to solve, you know? They've got all these networks. There's 200 million tweets happening today, 1.5 billion Facebook posts a day, billions of blogs and communities. It's difficult. How do you keep track of all this stuff? What do? You know, that's why Radian 6 has become the leader in social monitoring. With Radian 6, and you're going to see it later today, it's become the #1 social media monitoring engagement platform. Listening. How else are you going to be able to figure out what your customers want? Monitoring, engaging directly online. 150 million sources of information available for you as a customer on the internet today. But are you using it? Are you able to understand it? How do you figure out the dashboards, the mobile access? What do you do? This is a huge challenge for our customers. But more than half of the Fortune 100 has now installed Radian 6 to build these new next-generation social media monitoring platforms. And I want to show you a combination of what you can do with Heroku in building this next generation of social marketing with the customer, and the combination of Radian 6. Dan, take it away.
Let's go, Craig. Thanks, guys. I want to show you one final demonstration today, which is about building the customer social network with a combination of these technologies, because this is really what the future begins to look like. Let's bring it up and show you for the first time. Probably many of you are seeing our Radian 6 technology for the first time right now. So very quickly, it's just a cloud application. It works like Salesforce. What it's designed to do is allow you to listen to everything that is happening across the social web in real time. That means for our demo company here today, Cirrus Technologies, we just choose a set of keywords. At the bottom of the screen, we choose which networks that we want to monitor, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. And in real time, what Radian 6 is going to do is scour those networks and bring back all of those conversations to us. This is amazing new technology. You can see that we've just brought back over 12,000 conversations from the social web right now. And of course, you don't have to go through them one by one, although you could. You can analyze them in different ways, and that's what Radian 6 is all about. A lot of marketing managers like to sort this first by Twitter followers, because they like to see who are the people with the biggest megaphone out there in social media that are talking about my products or my services or my brand. And you can understand where they're having those conversations. So not just who is having them, but where. You can see here that for our set of keywords, our topic, micromedia, that's Twitter at the top of the screen, and then blogs, and then Facebook, and then it kind of dies off from there. So you know where they're having conversations about you. And then you have to understand, well, what does that really mean to me? So what Radian 6 allows you to do is dive deeper. It allows you to understand exactly what these people are talking about. For a technology company that we're demonstrating here today, it could be products. A lot of people like to understand, well, by product, what are people saying? Here we're looking at conversation volume by product. And you can see one product, our VX5 video conferencing system, is really jumping off the page. That means more people are having conversations about this product than any other on the social web right now. You can trend that over time. So you can see that big spike that just happened last week. That big spike was a new product launch. Well, what are people saying about my product? I just brought it into the marketplace. And you don't have to conduct a focus group, and you don't have to do a survey that takes 30 days. You can understand now. And that's the power of Radian 6, is understanding what people are saying now. But not just what they're saying, because you need to, as Mark was saying, you need to engage with your customers. It's not just listening, it's actually engaging. So you can take any, for example, here's a tweet, Sarah Langley saying, I'm evaluating video conferencing systems. What do you think about the new Cirrus VX5? You can engage with these customers because Radian 6 is now integrated directly with Salesforce. You can add any tweet. You could do this automatically. You could set up workflow rules. Let's go back and take a look at Salesforce. Because once we've added this on Sarah Langley's customer social profile, we can begin to establish a record of who she is and what she likes and how we've engaged with her. If we scroll down towards the bottom of the screen, not only do we have the social information on the top, but there's the Twitter post that we just brought back in. And you know this because we've been showing it for a couple of years. You just saw earlier on in the Service Cloud demo, you saw how we could message from a customer service agent directly out to a customer. And of course, we can do it with Twitter as well. So as soon as we post this here inside of Salesforce, we've got that log in Salesforce, but let's go back out to Twitter. Because we need to engage with their customers where they are, right? This is the whole component of social media. Your customers want service on Twitter, you have to deliver it on Twitter. And there's our post right back out to Twitter. Hey, the VX5 has features you'll love, but don't believe us. Listen to our other customers. And what they've provided Sarah with is a link to Facebook. Because this is now where companies are building social apps. And the reason that companies are building social apps is because people trust their friends. They want feedback from their colleagues. They want feedback from people they know. The social graph is the power. You can see what Cirrus has done here is not only use the wall, the standard parts of Facebook, but check out this app. They built this app on Heroku. And it allows people to engage with one another. So again, let's go ahead and start using this app and show you what it looks like. The first thing that you're going to see is that you have to give some permission to use this application. Right? That's the way this works. You have to give some permission to be able to pull some information from the Facebook graph for a better user experience. And when you say allow, you not only get access to the entire application, but the entire application is social. Which means if you want to find out information about products and testimonials and 5-star ratings, and you want to engage with other people on Facebook, now you can do that right here inside of the Facebook UI. We're not transported to a whole nother website. The experience is now social. We're interacting with other users, and these apps are being built on our Heroku technology. Let's take a look behind the scenes. What does this look like? Behind the scenes, we have the Heroku technology. Here's the admin console for administrators and developers using Heroku. And what you can see here is not only can you adjust every single part of the platform, every single part of the application, but of course you get all of this real-time statistics about what's happening and the throughput and the response time, and you have the tools and you have the dials and you can adjust this as it's happening. But while developers have been building these apps in Ruby, so many of our enterprise IT organizations are filled with Java developers. And so we wanted to open up Heroku even further, and that's what Heroku for Java is all about. So now if you want to build a Facebook application for your company and you've got Java skills, you can now do that. Dan has just brought up Eclipse, which is one of the more popular Java development environments. We've created a Facebook app right here for a store, conducting commerce online, but right on Facebook, the F-commerce that Mark was talking about. And if we want to deploy this application, Dan is going to bring up the command line here and issue a pretty simple command. And what's going to happen is in real time, that Java application that I was just showing you is going to deploy to the Heroku platform. And immediately, as soon as that application is deployed, it's going to be available to all of the users on Facebook. This takes about 5 seconds here. You're going to notice it says launching in just 1 second. There it is. Now let's go back to Facebook and take a look. Because as soon as we see this application, it's in the upper right-hand portion of the screen. I want to show you one critical thing. Is that when this application comes up, you'll notice that it kind of looks like a storefront, right? We can sell our products, we can sell our goods, we can sell our services. But again, the reason people are building these applications on this technology is because it's all about social. And that means when I'm looking at a product, I can purchase this, I can add it to my cart, or more importantly, I can ask my friends. I can ask my colleagues. I can get advice from the people I know and the people I trust. And so when I post that directly to my wall, as Sarah has done right here, it's now available for everybody in that social graph who's attached to Sarah. But here's something that's really important. Just want to show you one final thing. Let's look back in Salesforce. Because this is all part of the customer social profile. When Sarah said allow, I want to allow to use that application, it's part of the social profile. So not only do we see that record of that conversation that happened out on Twitter, we see a record of those Facebook apps. Customer social networks powered by Radiant 6 and Heroku. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Great job. And Dan Darcy taking a lot of risks to compiling these applications in real time. And I'm sure that for most of you, you realize that Dan is actually running all live demos and none of this is staged. And that last demo was more risk than we needed, but thank you, Dan.